What's going on there, Gotcha Gang? Kawaii50 here with another FGO video that I am making begrudgingly. Very begrudgingly, because I have to tell you why it is worth it to invest in freebie servant Sieg. I don't like Sieg for a lot of reasons. It's mainly the author's fault. He's basically the Kirito of Fate Apocrypha. He has all the powers he has just because he wants to have them. Okay, I'm done. I promise I'm done. We're just going to focus on mechanics now. We're going to focus on mechanics. We're going to go over Sieg's kit. We're going to talk about all Sieg has available to him and why it's worth it for you to finish up that Fate Apocrypha Inheritance of Glory event to get everything you need to make the most powerful Sieg. So Sieg at his core is a very powerful AoE Arts NP style caster designed for some fantastic NP loops a la Mordred Rider, say if you might have her. And best of all, he is absolutely free, which means free Ascension materials and free NP5. Let's go ahead and take a look at Sieg's stats. Now, Sieg maxes out with an 8,394 attack. This is all without Grails, by the way. And, of course, 11,288 HP. He, of course, has the Dragon trait. If you've watched Fate Apocrypha, you absolutely know why. If not, too bad he spoiled Fate Apocrypha for you with his skills and Noble Phantasm. Sieg's two passive skills are both incredibly powerful abilities. His first independent action, rank EX, increases his own critical damage by a solid 12%, allowing him to deal more damage with those tasty crits you're gonna be wanting him to get, so he can quickly charge his Noble Phantasm and quickly loop his Noble Phantasm as well. His second skill is Homunculus, rank C+. It increases his own arts performance by 6.5%, arts of course being his premier card type, and increases his own debuff resistance by 6.5%. This all plays well into his kit, mainly his card deck, which is Quick, Arts, Buster. So he can deal out the crits to charge his NP and deal out the crits to deal some damage. Now, the first skill Sieg is going to show you in his repertoire is Artificial Hero Fake, rank B+. It increases Sieg's NP generation rate for 3 turns, as well as increases his own max HP for those same 3 turns. At level 10, you can expect a 30% boost to his NP gain, as well as an extra 2,000 max HP on top of that, which of course stacks with other HP boosting skills like, say, Merlin's third skill, and you can use this to keep Sieg alive and generate that additional Noble Phantasm for those Noble Phantasm loops. Sieg's second skill you're going to want to be using immediately whenever he uses his Noble Phantasm, and hopefully in an Arts Brave chain, and that is Magecraft rank C. It increases Sieg's Arts performance for 1 turn, and at level 10 you can expect a 36% boost. Unfortunately, this is on a 5-turn cooldown, but Sieg is a freebie servant, so you gotta expect a couple of detriments here and there and not an actual fully realized optimized kit. Still, an extra 36% to Arts boost with a 6.5% Arts boost passive on him. That's pretty good. Sieg's final skill is Dead Count Shapeshifter rank EX. It functions a little bit like Siegfried's special ability, of course, Fate Apocrypha reference, and it increases the damage dragon enemies take from Sieg by 50 to 100% for 1 turn, making Sieg the premier assassin dragon slayer. I'm sure you experienced that a bit with the final Fate Apocrypha Inheritance of Glory node. But more importantly than this little situational bonus, it also charges Sieg's NP gauge by 20 to 30%. So if you just barely miss what you need to use that Noble Phantasm, you don't gotta worry, because Sieg has all the tools in his kit to help you boost towards that NP you're gonna want to be looping. And that NP is rank EX for a reason. Sieg's Noble Phantasm is Akfiloga Augris, Incandescent Dragon's Breath, Earth Liquefaction. Yes, I said the whole thing. It deals damage to all enemies between 450%, or since you likely have Sieg at NP5, 750%. Most importantly, it has an overcharge effect that performs like all of the best bonus Noble Phantasm effects and overcharge effects. It decreases your enemy's defense for 3 turns by 20 to 40% based on the charge level, and more importantly than anything, this activates before damage is dealt. So you're going to get extra damage out of Sieg's Noble Phantasm, affecting absolutely every single enemy you attack. And on the off chance you don't manage to kill them with Sieg's Noble Phantasm, you can finish them off with the subsequent Brave Chain that hopefully follows after. Or even if you can't manage to take them down after that, your other servants should be able to easily mop up an enemy that probably has half or less HP remaining at this point. Now, of course, some of you all out there are probably wondering, who should I pair Sieg with in order to get the best results? Obligatory waiver in there real quick, but of course you're going to want to pair him with your Premier Arts supporters, Tamamo no Mai, Gilgamesh Caster, and if you don't got either of them, barring that, Paracelsus von Hohenheim are all going to be great servants that easily complement Sieg and will easily allow Sieg to do those NP loops he so desires. If you have Tamamo no Mai especially, and you have her Bond 10 CE Tamamo's Fan Club, that increases the entire party's arts effectiveness by an additional 15%, Sieg is going to wholeheartedly benefit from that, both in terms of his Noble Phantasm as well as his general arts damage cards. So that might be something you really want to consider. Now, as far as craft essences go, these are kind of a no-brainer if you're using Sieg for farming especially. You're going to want to give him Kaleidoscope or the Imaginary Element, allowing him to easily charge up a Noble Phantasm to max turn 1. Might need a little bit of help depending on how his skill level is, but at skill rank 10, that should be completely and utterly easy, maybe even trivial for you to do, with Sieg able to easily fire out that Noble Phantasm turn 1, easily clear that node, and just dust his shoulders off and walk away. Now, if you're looking for something else, maybe turn count isn't an issue, maybe you want to use Sieg in a more powerful challenge quest, maybe you've just got an assassin node and you really want Sieg to get in there and show them the business, well, a couple of CEs I would recommend on top of that. Distant Pilgrimage, actually from the Fate Apocrypha event, really good on Sieg. Kind of hilarious considering Jeanne d'Arc is on that craft essence. NP gain plus 10%, NP strength plus 10%, and extra 40% NP gauge starting. All things Sieg really desires, in addition to Jeanne d'Arc. I mean, hey. On top of that, Golden Sumo Boulder Tournament increases attack by 15% when limit broken, starts battle with a 50% NP gauge. You should have farmed this to max during both Onigashima as well as the Onigashima rerun if you're around for both of those. If you don't have 2 MLB Golden Sumos, I am judging you. But like with any servant that is designed to just attack things and deal damage, Golden Sumo, be-all, end-all, vanilla, perfect Band-Aid CE for that. You can also go with Dive to Blue as well, the one featuring Swimsuit Mash. That's going to give you Arts Effectiveness plus 8%, increase your MP Strength by 8%, and give you a 30% starting NP gauge. If you got a limit broken, that's 10% Effectiveness, 10% NP Strength, and a 50% NP gauge. Again, hitting all categories that Sieg wants, all categories that will help your Sieg perform incredibly effectively. And that pretty much ends my overall look at Sieg. I'm not going to lie, this video was really difficult to do considering how I feel about him in Fate Apocrypha, as a character, as a story device, all that stuff. But we are here talking about the meta, people. We are not here to talk about my in-progress Fate Apocrypha dissertation about why Cowlus 4-Veg Yig Millennia was the better choice for a protagonist. Sieg's good, and Sieg is worth leveling regardless of your feelings on him. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments how you felt about this whole look at Sieg. Let me know how your Sieg is doing, how you might be leveling your Sieg. Let me know who you might be using instead of Sieg if you've already got his niche filled. I know a lot of people consider him a budget version of Anastasia, so maybe you're using Anastasia instead. Let me know if you're using her instead of Sieg as well. I hope you're all having a phenomenal day, and I will see you all in our next video.